Hey guys, and welcome back to the Blaze TV podcast. It's
Hello.
Kimberley hosting, as always, and keen to be my guest. I like one of the best responses I've ever had when I've messaged one of the new guys and said, "Hey, do you want to come and be on the podcast?" Yes, I would love to do that. Is new Blaze netminder. Some of you have probably already seen him because he's been around the rink. He's been to public skating in full kit, which was a first for me. I've never seen that before, but I loved it. It's Paavo Hölsä. Paavo, thank you so much for putting some time aside to do this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. I'm happy to do it. Actually, it was an automatic response on email. Like I would love to, but I had to break it to you. But I'm still okay with this. Just for you to know.
That's good to know. That's good to know. Hopefully, that means this will go well.
Yeah, I think so.
But you've got the honor of being the first import over in Coventry this season. You've been here since Saturday. I think I actually saw your first steps on Coventry soil as well, because you jumped off the van there straight into the rink. What's your first impressions of the city been like then, mate?
Yeah, the city is actually pretty compact. I'm from a small town, so I was actually thinking it would be bigger, but it feels like pretty compact and nice. There's everything you basically need in downtown, what I saw so far, and also I gotta get used to driving, but otherwise nothing special, I would say.
And of course, you've already been on the ice in your home for the next 7-8 months at the Skydome Arena. What are your thoughts on our old rink there?
Yeah, it looked nice. It looked nice. I think when it's gonna be packed, there's gonna be lots of noise, and also I don't know. Locker room was nice, and we had like a good place to work out, so nothing to complain.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Certainly over the last few years since Danny's been the coach, they've really put a lot of time and effort into making certainly the bit behind the curtain with the dressing room, the physio room and stuff, making that a really friendly place to be for the boys. So it's good that's felt. It's good that's felt for sure. So the first thing's always really important for me to get, when we have a guy from Scandinavia or maybe somewhere in Eastern Europe, is to make sure that we've got your name pronounced correctly. So my pronunciation is probably terrible, but how would you say to Blaze fans the best way to pronounce your name is?
Paavo Hölsä.
Hölsä. Okay.
Hölsä.
You can when you've heard the match night streams, give me a little clip around the ear if it's not so good, and I'll do my best on that one.
Yeah, but you're doing good job, better than the most for sure.
This is the thing. I always think it's really important. Like first impressions count. I'm really glad that you got a good first impression of the rink and the city. But also, obviously, if we get your name right, that's a big thing. So there you go for everybody.
Yeah, that's always nice. Makes me feel like home.
For sure. I mean, that's yeah. I mean, like we said, it's going to be away from home for the next 7 or 8 months. But speaking of the name, that Google Translate thing that brought Paavo Hölsä out to Spongebob, that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in writing a PR up for a new signing. Did you know that happened before? Did you know that was going to come up, or was that the first time you saw it too?
Yeah, actually I did. It was about one year ago. My godson was doing something on internet, maybe going to our hockey site to search my stats or something like that, and then he just sent me a screenshot and laughing emojis that, hey, you're a SpongeBob. You're a SpongeBob. Like, did you know that? And I was like, oh yeah, that's there. And of course it happened again. So I'm being SpongeBob now.
It's funny how players get nicknames. And I think this one, unfortunately, buddy, might stick with you for a while. But I saw as well, because I had a little sneak peek into the kit bag there. Brought a brand new shiny white CCM helmet over here with you. Presumably that's going to get a paint job at some point. And you've got to put a little SpongeBob in there somewhere, man. You got to do that.
Yeah, possibly. I'm not gonna rule yet what's gonna appear in the mask, but we'll see about it.
For sure. Let's talk a little bit about your career then, and kind of, I guess, where your hockey journey took you up until now. So you're from a small town, I think. You're from Lappeenranta, is that right?
Yeah, Lappeenranta.
Lappeenranta. Okay. This is going to be a theme, I feel, while I try and get the pronunciation good. But
yeah, like I said, you're doing a good job. It's okay. I understand you.
This is good. I like this. So you presumably would have watched Saipa growing up, your hometown team that play in the top league. and then you got to play for them kind of sandwiched, right? So you started off with under 16s for a little while. And I guess as a kid, playing for like your hometown team, like the junior system, that must have been pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, like I started for under 16. I played for Saipa. Then I went elsewhere. We had a couple national team goalies, so I jumped to Joensuu, and that was possibly the best decision I ever made. I went there to get more ice time because in the end of the day, that's what young kid needs. And then came back to Lappeenranta, and it was actually awesome. We made playoffs first time in 10 years in the last season of under 20. So that's a memory to hold. Like that was awesome.
Yeah, for sure. But the thing was, and it's interesting that you say that, you recognize that was a really good decision. But you look at the switch before you came back to your hometown. You had, I think it was that you guys finished second in I would call it Jokipojat, but I'm probably way wrong on that. You were one of the best statistical netminders in the league. You guys came second. That was a great year. That must have been really reassuring that you were on the right path.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like if I remember correctly, we beat actually Saipa. We played in the same league, but we beat them. They were fourth and we were second. So that was a big year. That was kind of like showing off like them that like I can do it and maybe better than them.
Well, you did that because they invited you back to rejoin the setup. And I mean, I understand that, like, commentating on the Coventry Blaze for me is the closest I'll ever get to representing my hometown club. And I'm really proud to do it. So when that phone rang and the coach said, "Hey, do you want to come back?" You must have been over the moon. Yeah,
I was. I mean, like there was many like nice events on the way, on the path. Like in Jokipojat, Joensuu, we played like first year in highest level of under 20, which used to be a huge deal in Finland. Yeah. Like it was really good league, and like then we managed to stay in the league and just played the year, and then they saw my games and they want me back there in Saipa. So yeah, I was happy back then, happy to go home.
And I guess as well, for context, because context is important to how successful you were during that little spell there. If you look at the class of player that were in there, I mean, Sebastian Aho was in there, Patrick Laine was in there, Rope Hintz, who's in Dallas now, he's doing really well. They were all in that same age bracket as you, right? So playing against those guys, actually, probably I want to ask you, when you're playing against those guys that, I think those guys were all drafted at that point, they were all kind of setting their sights on the National Hockey League. Do you kind of feel that when you're playing against them, that these guys have just got that something a little bit extra?
Yeah, I mean, like I never tried to focus on who I was playing against. Okay, if there was some talent like Patrick Laine, I of course I gotta mark him that he's gonna be on a half wall and shooting like Ovechkin. But I think the only guy I really remember, it was my first ever playoff game, and Rope Hintz got he got the puck, like he came over our blue line, defensive blue line, toe dragged the D, walked in and put it top shelf. It was like 2 minutes down the first period. Oh, wow. So I was like, okay, so this is playoff hockey in Finland. I was like, okay, but we end up winning though in the overtime. So good memories, like I said, like beautiful memories.
Oh, for sure. I mean, success, like, at any level, juniors, seniors, those are the years that I guess stick out the most. But I guess one year, for probably a couple of different reasons that would stick out for you, is your first pro year, because you joined up with Roki in Mestis, but that team ended up, I think you finished dead last in your first pro year. So I guess you had the massive high of being called up. You've got a pro start, and that doesn't necessarily happen all the time, right? Because I guess, was it a case of Roki called you up? They said, Paavo, we want you to join us. We want you to be our starting netminder, or how did that conversation happen?
It was like I've usually been like I've had to fight for my position, and like I didn't want to go for a third tire in Finland, called Suomi-sarja, and I was waiting for a right spot for quite a long time. I think it was mid-August. It's quite late for Finland because the camp started in beginning of August usually. So it was mid-August. They called me that, hey, listen, our first goalie got injured. one Slovakian guy, good friend of mine, and like he got injured, and like we would need a goalie there for a tryout. It would be a 2 weeks tryout, and come show us what you can, and like we'll see how it turns out. And of course, I packed my stuff pretty fast, and then they will call me the next day that like when are you leaving? That then I replied I already left. I think I was midway, because it was like my hometown's in the south, and it's on the Arctic Circle in the north, so it's a long drive.
Okay.
But yeah, I started my journey, and yeah, then we played against Swedish Allsvenskan team. We lost big time because it's really top professional league. We lost the first game big time, but then we won the second one, and I kind of got a good start there, and the rest is history. I like the place.
Yeah, I think there's almost something romantic about that in a way, where you go in as a tryout and you end up getting a starting spot. There's something amazing about that, right? As well. But I mean, look, I don't want to dwell on it too much, because obviously that regular season was pretty tough. But there's now correct me if I'm wrong here. So the top tier in Finland kind of stands alone, but between the second and the third tier, there's a relegation and a promotion system, right? Have I got that right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So, because when I looked up on your stats, and I managed to catch a bit of tape on this, you look like you absolutely stood on your head to keep Rocky up in Mestis. What was that relegation scenario like? Because that really is a huge deal.
Yeah, I mean, like there was like I said, those years were actually very nice and important for my career. But we end up, I think it was something like we had 50 games and 50 points in the regular season, and in Finland you get 3 points from a win.
Yeah.
So we didn't really win a lot. But then the season started to turn, and we started to win in the end. So it started to look, maybe we could even avoid relegation, but we didn't. And we were kind of the team that lost a lot in Mestis. And then there was the first team of third league. There was even a couple pro guys, which was unreal in Finland, that you would have pro guys on a third tier. So we're thinking like they lost 3 games in the whole season.
Wow.
And then they came to play against us. And I can remember I was so nervous before the first game. I don't know which is the right term, but it's kind of like fight or escape, fight or run situation. And then, it was a good experience.
No, for sure. And like, so I didn't realize that Rocky, geographically speaking, was up in the Arctic Circle. That's pretty crazy. But you found a bit of a home there, because you spent 3 of your 4 years in Mestis there. What kind of kept you coming back to that organization?
Yeah, I mean, like first, I was just happy to get it. Like, to be honest, I was just happy to get a team from Mestis. It's a good league, and used to be even better league than it's nowadays. There's teams leaving for first league. But anyways, like I was just happy to get a team from that league. And then the second year, like there was some kind of breakthrough, and I like play better, even better than the first year. So I was so happy with the place, so I didn't want to kind of change anything. So
I understand.
And I got also friends outside the ice. I'm like a good friend of mine lives there. I go visit them every year. I'm a godfather to his daughter, so I have like also close relations there. Otherwise,
That's awesome. It's really interesting, isn't it? Particularly when you played pro hockey in a few different places. I get the impression that when a place feels right for you, you know it feels right for you, and you tend to, want to stick it out for at least a couple of 3 years before you see what else the world of pro hockey's got to bring. But for the other year in Finland that you played in Mestis with Koipa, you had some success again. You guys, I think, was it the silver medal? So for like second place, which that's a pretty good go.
Yeah, there was success. We kind of had a good team, but we were doing very bad in regular season. I remember that. Yeah, then the piece started to click. Okay, that was a different year for me. I was like, I wasn't playing in the playoffs, but regular season I was taking like more and more games. It was actually a tough year. I just had a ACL surgery before that, so it was kind of also part of the fighting and part of the path. But yeah, it ended up pretty well. So that was a good year.
I suppose it's one of those situations when everything doesn't, quite fit. You had a couple of nice years in rookie, you were successful and comfortable, and then you kind of, you had to have some surgery. You maybe didn't play in the scenarios that you wanted to, but you were able to have that medal at the end, and it's like, okay, that was fine. But
yeah, it was a good year in the end of the day.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think like any year that you play in pro hockey, whether you come dead last or you come second and you come close to a championship, it's all a learning experience, right? And was that kind of drive to gain experience to try new hockey cultures part of why you decided to skip Finland and go play in mainland Europe in the Alps League?
Well, it's also funny story. Like I had that feeling after the season that like I want to go play abroad. I had enough of Mestis. I was looking for a long time to play in the first league. Then I decided there was no offers from there, and then I was thinking like, yeah, now it's time to leave Finland and play pro abroad. And then there was this one guy messaging me via Instagram, would you want to play in Austria? Then I was thinking, okay, it's like reliable source or what is happening next? And then like I heard that the team's solid. They have new owners, new background, and they want to go up to the first league. So, okay, I was thinking like that would be a great option for me, maybe to go first to Alps League and then go up to the ICHL, which finally happened. So it was like another crazy story.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, Ljubljana is a really awesome place to play hockey, obviously. So with the Alps League, I mean, they call it the Austrian League, right? It used to be the EBEL, but that's not an accurate description because you've got teams from Northern Italy, from Slovenia, from a couple of other different places in and around there. But the Alps League has got, and I don't know whether it was the same for the year that you played in the Alps League, but it's got a reputation of being a league that's pretty high scoring, right? You get some guys that can really rack up the goal tally there. But you kind of bucked that trend a little bit, didn't you? Because you had, was it the best GAA, the best save percentage, then you had the best GAA in the playoffs as well. So you seem like you really found your stride that year.
Yeah, I did. Okay, it was like nice to start the league. Okay, the differences between the best and worst team were, in my opinion, they were a little bit too big. Because if there's like some farm team for, let's say, Linz or well, Klagenfurt was okay, but like those farm teams, they didn't do that well. And there was like because we were like fully pro team. We had like tough professionals like who played in Olympics couple times and like we're championships. So we were on another level than the worst teams. But then the top teams, they were actually pretty good. Italians, yeah, mainly Italians, who are now Pustertal and Asiago. They actually went up to ICHL now, so they were actually good games. I enjoyed playing. But yeah, what can I say? They got also the imports there to score, and the imports were really good. Maybe not defensively, but they could score. When they got a shot, they were able to. So need to be careful with them.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting because it's always been one of those leagues. I mean, it used to be that the Italian league is a standalone. I mean, this is probably maybe almost 10 years ago. It was really highly thought of. Yeah, and the bottom, from what I understand, kind of fell out of it a little bit. But like the top teams, like your Bolzanos, etc., they've kind of found homes in the Austrian league and whatnot. And then the Alps league's got pretty good since then. But those top end imports, they're generally there. They come out the East Coast or somewhere like that, and they've done pretty well there. Just trying to find that step up into, the Austrian league, maybe go Del 2, somewhere like that. So you really do get some big fish in that pond. So to be able to, have really good individual success that year, but also for the team, because you guys won the championship that year outright. So for you as well. Yeah, I mean, you had that springboard not only for yourself to go play at a higher level, but from what you've just said, for Ljubljana to go and play in that higher level as well. So that must have been a really good feeling around the town.
Yeah, it was like good feeling to do that, like manage. We were like supposed to win, and we just did that and went up also. Of course, it would have been the cherry on top of the cake if we like had relegation games. Of course, there are closed leagues, so it can't happen. But
Yeah.
but either way, it was nice to go up and start to play on that top level, like in European top league.
Cool. So what was the story to get to the championship then? You sound like you were the hot favorites and kind of just fulfilled that, right?
Sorry.
So what was the journey like to the championship? Because you just said that you were pretty much the favorites. So was it still a grind? Was it a battle, or did you guys manage to have one of those rare occasions where we're the favorites and we've lived up to that?
Like for stars, it was a weird season. We had 3 different coaches.
Oh wow, I didn't
Like
know that.
and we end up with the Finnish coach. Like he's been in every place. He had like good experience from KHL. He actually won a Stanley Cup as a player.
Oh wow.
He coached in Finnish first league everywhere. I can even remember where. Yeah, I remember we that kind of tells you about the level of commitment we had. Like we first game in playoffs we won 4-2 because we were the first in regular season and the opponent was I guess 8th or something like that. Yeah. It was 4-2 and I remember like we were celebrating. Okay, yeah, 4-2 win. And then I remember that the coach looked at me angry, and I was like, "What's up? Should I say something like what's going on?" And then he came to me very very close to my head and, "You let 2 goals in. What's wrong with you? You're supposed to beat those guys like even like more badly." And I was like, okay, I never faced anything like this, but yeah. Then I played a shutout in the next game, so I think that was good response. But yeah, I think the series went. Getting back to the question, I think it was 3-0. It was best of 5.
Okay.
3-0 the first one, but the second one we went to the game 5. So we I kind of thought that we already had them, but we went for game 5, and we beat them something like 6-0 in the game. So there was really no doubt, but like we went maybe a little bit too far in the game, and then we went to play. We faced Asiago in the finals, and they were really tough games. I think we beat them in overtime twice, and then the last game we beat them more clearly. And yeah, that's it. And we were champions.
Oh, nice. I guess the party was awesome. But like Asiago, another one of those teams, right? They were one of the good teams in the Italian league and that have kind of been on that cusp of the Austrian league and the Alps league as well. So I guess two worthy finalists. But clearly, Ljubljana wanted to keep you on for the year in promotion. Was that no doubt in your mind that you wanted to stay there and you wanted to continue and see where that took you?
Oh yeah, there was my goal from the start was that I will go for a first league, no matter what. I'm like I so far in my career I haven't thought about money. I just want to go for a good place, playing in good league with good people. Okay, about the people you don't know in advance that much,
Cool.
but like anyways, in some bad level league.
Yeah, no, for sure, I understand. And describe the difference in level between the Alps League and the Austrian League, because it is quite a jump, isn't it? I think people maybe sometimes take that for granted.
Yeah, like top games, sometimes I think the top teams would manage to play against like the Austrian League teams, but I don't know. I would say the jump is very big. Like, because there's actually there are guys from AHL, East Coast, like a little bit same than here, but they're nowadays they pay that well, so they can attract many very good players. Then there are those giants, Red Bull Salzburg. That's a very good team. I would say they would do well in the Finnish first league. Like seriously, they would be in playoffs. Klagenfurt, very good team. Bolzano usually last year they weren't doing that well, but there are very good teams in that league, especially the top. So I'm actually eager to see what's going to happen in the future. I think the differences between different leagues are going to get even smaller than they are now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you're right. And I think certainly things like the Champions Hockey League and the Continental Cup really give a good opportunity for like the top teams in each league to kind of weigh up against each other. And it's funny that you mentioned Red Bull Salzburg. Hey, the Coventry Blaze have played them in the Continental Cup a few years ago. We beat them. I remember that game. That was awesome.
Oh, really?
So, oh yeah. You'll find out about this. I think Danny played in that game, Danny Stewart, if I remember right. So, you'll have to.
That's weird that he forgot to mention about it, but maybe he will.
It's a long season. I'm sure all the stories of when he was a player will come out at some point. I don't know whether he tells them in the dressing room a lot, because obviously he's a coach now. So I don't know whether he does the in my playing day we did this and this happened, or or he sticks to the coaching. But so in terms of, again, structurally in the Austrian league, so you've got the regular season, the playoffs and whatnot. But there are 4 Slovenian teams in the Austrian league, if I remember right. And you guys have like an international cup, don't you, between the 4 teams, which Ljubljana that year, when you were in the Austrian league, managed to come out as champions again. If I remember right, you played in a lot of those games, did very well in those games. So, I mean, you must look back on your time there and just think, man, I achieved a lot here. I had a lot of success. This was good.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel that way for sure. I mean, especially the Alps League Championship was the first championship I ever got. Mm-hmm. If you don't count like something you got as a little kid, yeah. Like as like pro career, it was amazing. Good memories, like lifelong friends, like something to tell about from my career. But okay, I hope there's time to do that. Now I can still focus on playing, not telling the stories. But yeah, I feel like I achieved a lot, and yeah, what can I say? That's it.
For sure. Talk to us about coming to Coventry then. I don't think Danny does Instagram, but how did that conversation with the Blaze start, and what made you make the decision to come over to the Elite League?
Yeah, it was actually pretty fast. I was like, it was beginning of August, and they called me. It was I think, if I remember correctly, it was Wednesday, and my agent called me that there was England. It's called Coventry Blaze, and I was like, all right, cool. And you can say that they can contact me, and then Danny called me, and he actually could like upgrade his selling pitch, because I was hearing that this town's very nice, but he was telling me that it's not exactly a lot in London, but this is still a fine place to be. I was thinking, like, I gotta now check that, like, which type of town is it, that is there any people living or something like that. But then I realized that this is like size of Helsinki, so it was good to see. It's actually a really, really good looking town. But yeah, then we started to go into details. I was asking about the league. Of course, I was impressed, looking some videos, and then like I think on Friday we locked the deal, and then we were already booking the flights, so it happened pretty fast.
That really did. Wednesday to Friday is pretty quick. That's a pretty quick turnaround. So
yeah.
And for time of year as well, that's really important, because obviously kind of when you start, not having a goalie in August, you're thinking, oh, okay, we need to get this done. And clearly, Danny's done his research. He's not just signed any guy. He signed a top goalie, someone who's won, out of his last 2 years, he's won a championship in each one. But what's important as well is like what kind of goalie you are. So, there are big goalies that kind of fill the net. There are agile goalies that kind of nip around. How would you describe your game, Pav?
Yeah, of course. I think it's you can see it pretty quickly that I'm not the biggest goalie there is. Yeah, I'm like competitive. I like instead of like staying in and like trusting my blocking game, I try to read the game and like move fast under the puck, be square in the puck, and take the puck to the chest. Make it look simple, but of course sometimes you need to make a stretch if you're in a hurry, and like give something for the crowd.
Yeah, for sure. What did you say yesterday? Is it the ones that you save in the chest are the best ones?
Oh yeah, that's what I said, and that's true actually. Because sometimes when you're in a hurry and they have an empty net, and they shoot your end of the stick, and you save it. Everybody might be thinking, "Oh, what a save! Like, how did he make it happen?" Don't get me wrong. Of course, sometimes you gotta do it, but like usually if you're in control of the situation, you move under the puck and you make it look easy. I think that's when your D's also feel most comfortable around you and trust you.
Yeah, that's an important thing, that relationship, I guess, with the defenseman in front of you. And it's the next couple of days where most of the boys are going to be in and giving you some company. So I guess you're really looking forward to actually meeting the rest of the guys, because I think you've met a couple of them now that have come in today. But you must be really excited to hit the ice, like not just at public skate, like when you got pucks being fired at you.
Yeah, also, I mean, like the public skate was fun also, but I'm looking forward to big time to see the guys and go for a team practice.
And then I think it's only a week until we hit the preseason games, right? Too. So I mean, you must be really looking forward to testing yourself at this level right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's always nice when you have new teams you're gonna face and something like you don't kind of remain like where you are, and you gotta get rid of these old patterns. That's in the end of the day why I left Mestis, and I wanted to get to know something new. So that's what I'm doing here.
No, we appreciate that, and we're really looking forward to seeing you out there. Before I finish this up, I got to ask you one more thing. So, like goalie numbers, they're usually like a really relatively uniform thing, right? You wear number 1, you wear number 30 through to maybe 35. Those are pretty common goalie numbers. You got 77. Where did that come from, man? What's the story behind that?
Yeah, I'm exactly the most ordinary goalie you'll see, but I thought that the number should be like that also. It's not the most ordinary, but yeah, there's actually only one goalie that I know of. It's playing with the number. He's called Juha Metsola. He was playing in KHL many years. He was playing well in Finland, and now I think he moved to Swiss and LA. So he's also smaller than others, moving well, reading the game, staying compact, like something I want to be. So he's kind of my hero. So I pay respect to him and wear that. I didn't ask him though. I don't personally know him, but I hope he's fun with that.
I'm sure he will be, particularly when we have some success here in Coventry this year, and I got a feeling that's going to be coming. So
I gotta make that happen.
Oh, for sure. Paavo, I've really enjoyed this. I was gonna say I've really enjoyed meeting you, but I mean I've met you 3 days out of the last 3 now, so that wouldn't necessarily be true that this was the first time we'd met. But this has been great. Thank you so much for chatting and I guess sharing some of your stories as well. That was really kind of you.
Yeah, thank you. I had also good time. It's sometimes nice to review your career for a bit. Not too much though. There's better time for it after you retire.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've got some chapters in the book. You've written those. But you've got plenty more on the blank pages ahead, and hopefully we'll have a good couple of stories to tell from your time in Coventry.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I have.
For sure. Guys, thank you so much once again for tuning into the Blaze TV podcast. I can't believe the games are about 1 week away. I might have to get the notebook out and start researching the other teams as well as just the Coventry Blaze. So from me, from everybody at the Coventry Blaze and at Blaze TV, from Pav, thank you so much for joining us again, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
Yeah, my pleasure, and see you at the rink.